From sheriff's badge to sold sign, today on Realtors in RVs, meet Rob Tichy. After retiring from his position with the Putnam County Sheriff's Department, Rob traded New York duty for Myrtle Beach dreams and hit the road towards a brand new chapter in real estate. We're talking reinvention, retirement, and why it's never too late to park your past and drive full speed into your future. Tune in and see how this former sheriff is now protecting people's biggest investments, their homes. Welcome back to another episode of Realtors in RVs. Let's roll. Today, I had to get on one of my favorite colleagues that I work with at Innovate Real Estate. His name is Rob Tichy. He's also a transplant from New York. Rob, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. All right, let's talk about New York. You retired from New York State. I can never get your title right. I know it was the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I worked for the Putnam County Sheriff's Office for 34 years.
God
Total.
bless.
Yep, retired as an investigator up there.
Yeah, do you miss it?
Yeah, the job was awesome. I loved it, but time for a change.
Yeah. So why South Carolina?
Of course, everybody says the sun and the fun and taxes and, same thing that everybody else wants it in New York,
Yeah. So Athena, your wife, I love her. Hello, Athena. How are you? How is her now? Has she had Athena ever been down here before, or was this whose idea about moving to South Carolina?
It's all my idea.
So it was okay. Same with Chris and I. It was all Chris's idea to move here.
So it was rough in the beginning. We actually came down a couple times and I showed her some areas and got her feel for it, and she said she could think about it, and then we decided to do it, and we came down and we found the right location, the right house, and we moved down. And she had a rough go for the first year, but family was still in New York, some of it, so we ended up moving her mom down here and doing the right thing, so now it's changed.
Yeah, we have the same story with Chris and I. I had a rough time in the beginning because he had to keep going back to Puerto Rico to take care of his parents when his father was still alive. And I was by myself here. My whole family was back in New York, and then my son was deployed overseas with the Marines. And I had a rough first full year here too. So I know I think that's why I resonate with Athena so much. So I got to keep up with her and get that girls' lunch and dinner going and stuff like that. But enough about that. South Carolina. You retired, you moved here. Did you plan on having a nice retirement? Because you became a realtor and went right back to work. What's up with that?
So I came down, and the first year I played golf. I enjoyed life. I did my thing. And then I said, you know what? I want to do something. I want to help people. I said, I bought and sold houses in the past, and you have your ups and downs with every realtor, and some of it's not their fault. It's just the way it's done. So I said, I want to be different. I want to be family. I want to be part of their family and do the right thing for my clients. And I said, let me see if I can do this. So I called my agent, who I purchased a house from down here, and
Kelly
Wilbur.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Innovate Real Estate. He was actually BRG at first, and then went to Innovate. And she said, yeah, you can do it. This is what I would do if I was you, and go to Pinnacle Real Estate Academy. But going back and forth to New York, I couldn't lock into a class there. Well, luckily, Pinnacle offers an at-home study course, so you can get your license. So I did the at-home at your pace. So it gives you 6 months to get your license and finish the class. And I did that. And I had, in my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to do it. And then I said, on January 29th of 2023, I said, or 2024, I'm going to do it. And then I said, let me do it. I went up, drove up to Pinnacle Real Estate Academy. Nobody knew what I was doing. I purchased the class, and I said, all right, you have until June to do your thing. And I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I did it.
And do you like it?
I love it. I absolutely enjoy every aspect of it.
It's an addiction, isn't it? Like real estate, the emotional roller coaster of real estate.
Yeah, you can skate to it.
But it's an addiction, right?
Yeah, there are highs and lows with every transaction. Right now, I presently have 7 builds in the process, all new construction.
God bless.
With different people, different companies, different avenues with the builders and how involved you get and how you don't if you don't want to. It's just so much fun. It's just such a different thing.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of people are following you. You were just written up with a gorgeous article in Real Producers Magazine. I mean, come on, Rob. You've only been doing this, so we're gonna give some, good information back to the newer agents. Although you're getting pretty seasoned, but you are picking up the pace really fast. Everybody's talking about you. Everybody loves you. What is the secret sauce here? Like, how did you retire, move from New York to South Carolina, and you're just booming in the real estate business?
Well, I'm trying. Everybody says you're killing it. I'm just doing me. I'm just trying to do what I can do to help my clients to understand what makes them want to be here along with, well, I did, and what makes it easier for them. So I study with them. I talk to them. I listen to them. The key is listening and understanding what your clients really want. And then following through. This is the first thing I said was, yeah, I'm going to do it part-time. I'm just going to do it occasionally. And there's no part-time in real estate. I'm doing it on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. I'm sometimes up in the office until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm searching homes and, I'll get people on a lead and they'll be like, hey, I want 2 primaries. I want one upstairs, one downstairs. And, it's very difficult to find certain things that they want, but to understand what they need and to come up with a solution is the key. So I enjoy it. I just love trying to help people. So
Yeah, and that's what it is. Real estate. We're not only selling homes and land and commercials and leases, we're also selling ourselves. And the fact that you love doing it, it just speaks volumes for you because some people, I've seen some realtors, they're just nasty. They're nasty. They don't love doing it. You love doing it. And there's a big difference when work is work, but passion is life. And I feel like that's where you're at. Like it's a passion. So you put 100% of yourself, if not more, into it.
yeah, you have to. And I don't want to say unfortunately it's time consuming, but it is time consuming. And I enjoy it because I see the end result. I know there's always something over that hill that my clients are going to enjoy. And it's walking into that new home for the first time or a resale or in the process, like right now with the builds, to see during the builds, go out, take pictures, send them to them. They're not here. Some of them are in New Jersey. Some of them are in Connecticut. They're all over the place. So to keep them informed along the way with the process and, how the build's going and what we came across and just checking in on for them because I want them to have the right home. Some of these guys this is the last home they'll ever purchase. If they relocate, they retire, they come down here, this is their forever home. I want to make sure it's right for
Yeah, I like that. I like your spirit, Rob. Wow. I want to give three either tools, words of wisdom, habits that you found in the past 2 years that have helped you get to the level that you're at. I'd like to help some new agents win.
So, well, first thing, don't give up. That's key, right? Is don't give up on yourself. Make sure you follow through and consistency. Consistency is part of the process that we have to do. If you're not consistent with your transactions, your movements, your emotions, your legal aspects, it doesn't work out. You're haphazard with, following through. It just doesn't happen. You have to be consistent with everything that you do with real estate. So you have a timeline. You have, because there's going to be hiccups along the way. You have to be able to fight through those and be consistent with your documents, your paperwork, your processing, everything. So that's big. And following up and following through is key. Also, you have to. I've met realtors that actually that I've brought over to Innovate and still trying to bring over to Innovate that have been in the process and the business for as long as I have, and they've made 1 or 2 transactions. I see more potential in people than that. If you want to be a real estate agent in South Carolina, it's there. It's here. You can do it. You just have to follow the rules and make sure you're consistent and follow the process, because you can't give up on yourself. If you do, you're done. You know?
Yeah, it's so true. And I like the way you say that. I've seen realtors too, and I believe in them so much. But it says you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. There's that old saying, and I've done a lot of things for some of the newer agents, and then they've just given up, and I feel terrible, not that I feel terrible, but I saw the potential, and I saw like the vision in them, but they didn't see it in themselves, and that's a hard thing to swallow. Like, that's why I don't start a team. That's why I'm very happy being an independent, realtor, because I feel like I would give so much and pour so much into other people. And if they didn't believe in themselves, I don't know. I'm just not ready to waste that time yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand where you come from, but for being one of the ones who have received your love and your generosity, I want to thank you, because when I started in this business, you reached out to me and helped me with some of the clients and led me in that direction. And once I saw that, it sparked this fire of trying to help other agents. And I'm like, if she's killing it and doing what she has to do, yet she's still looking out for the little people, I'm like, I can do this. I can be part of that. I can be part of that process. And I'm very appreciative of you and Chris and everything you guys have done for me. So I'm like, now it's time to pay it forward. I know people say that I'm out there, and I've gone into DR Horton or Lenore or, Mungo or Chesapeake, any one of those, and they're like, oh, I know you. I've seen you on social media. Well, I don't realize what I'm reaching out to, but I'll stop and talk to an agent. I'll stop in Walmart, talk to people, and they're like, hey, how come you're so friendly? Because that's just the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
That's one of the things South Carolina is all about, is being friendly, being peaceful, and just that love. And that's what I'm all about. So that's why I'm just trying to be me.
Yeah. And speaking of South Carolina, you love to golf.
I do love the golf. I was out on Crow Creek yesterday playing with the alligators.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah.
Do they in South Carolina too? They have the alligators that come out?
Oh, yeah.
Get out of What is that like?
It's pretty scary. But, they're there.
It's their home.
Yeah. You don't bother them, they don't bother you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to go over next to them and pick up my ball. That's donated to the water. I'm okay with it. We had he was about 8, 9 foot yesterday.
Oh my! Was he in the water or on?
No, he was laying on the shore. Yeah, he was laying on the shore. They sun themselves, so he was out there getting.
And you were playing golf around the sunning alligator.
Yeah, if you play any one of these, like Polish Plantation, Oyster Bay, Crow Creek, they'll have gators that come right out, and they just let them do their thing.
Oh my!
Yeah.
But there's never been any attacks or anything, so I guess they're getting so used to the people, and the golfers are respecting that. This is their home. Just stay away.
Yeah, no, I don't bother.
No one's bringing raw chicken to feed
no,
them to their golf cart.
You know what? Somebody might, but I'm hoping not. They're pretty aggressive if you need to be, but I just keep my distance.
Yeah. Did you play golf back in New York, or is that just something?
No, I played in New York. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
Not as much, because we're at work, and you don't have the time.
Yeah.
So now I can.
Now I want to ask you the difference between getting up for work and going into the sheriff's department for 34 years and getting up for work to go help a real estate client. There's got to be a difference in how you feel, but still you're a very passionate guy. So I'm sure the passion was there for both careers.
Yeah, the passion was there. Doing crime scenes and stuff like that. You're meeting people at a sometimes sad part of their life. Their loved one has passed or something's happened. So you try and bring a little bit of joy to their understanding of why it happened or what went on. There's stories that I can tell, but I'm not going to get into that right now, because it's definitely heartbreaking and emotional. But seeing people now as a realtor getting up and knowing and understanding what they're getting in the long run, this beautiful home, it's where they want to be, it's their retirement or their investment, and it's a happy, joyous portion of their life. So I love being part of that.
So I want to talk about, are you okay talking about 9/11?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I want to thank you for your service on that horrible day. I know that you were working when the planes hit. You were working for the New York State Sheriff's Department. And even though you were like an hour or two away, you were still there for search and rescue. You were there to come down and help. I'm getting all choked up because that I know my own husband was working that day in the next borough. He was working in Brooklyn, the next borough over when the planes hit. And just what every 9/11, like this is the 25th year. I mean, 25 years since that happened. So, I want to talk about your experience and when you heard about the planes hit. And if you could just talk a little about that. And I want to thank you for your service, Rob.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, no. Um, so I actually just transferred from Orange County Sheriff's Office to Putnam County Sheriff's Office. And I was in orientation that day because everybody has to go through it when you transfer, even a seasoned veteran or anything like that. And the lady said, I think you need to go back to the office. They're going to need you there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she turned on the TV in the office and I saw the first plane hit. And I was like, all right, I'm out. And I went back to the office and they were like, we're putting a crew together. We're going down. I said, I'm there. Whatever you need. So I was trained in search and rescue. I was trained in special emergency response team, part of the sheriff's office CERT team. And they were like, let's go. So we packed the van with all the equipment that we could pull and shot down. And I drove back and forth. We did 12-hour shifts down there. And we went back and forth every day for like, it was until October, I think the 22nd or 23rd of October. Spent the whole, sometimes night shifts, sometimes day shifts. But search and rescue and Millennial Hotel, we went room to room. Um, it was definitely a surreal feeling to be there and to see the devastation. So, it's just part of life. I didn't think about it. It was just something that I knew my fellow, officers and firemen and everything else, they needed help. So we were there for them.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, Rob. Thank you. I mean, you're a hero in our eyes. For that was 25 years this year. I'm like, where did the time go? It just went so fast, but I'll never forget. I don't think you'll ever forget. We'll never forget.
No, I actually have uh, some mementos at home that every once in a while I look at and I'm like, man, Jesus, that day was crazy.
Yeah.
And the time after that, but it taught me a lot. And to do, like it's 25 years ago this year, and I've only been retired 4 years from the sheriff's office. So that remaining time in the sheriff's office, I've used everything I learned that day and went to different trainings. Went to the FBI National Academy, Quantico. Um, took a 10-week course down there and graduated from that. And it just showed that you never stop learning. You can't.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But it was definitely a sad day.
Yeah. It's a horrible day. Well, thank you for your service, Rob. Thank you. And now down. So 4 years you've been retired.
Yeah. Yeah, I retired on June 1st of 2022. And I stayed a year in New York and said, it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. What are some of the reasons that brought you down to South Carolina?
well, like I said before, the friendly personalities, the people, the sun, the things to do, no snow. And
We had snow this.
I know. Well, initially when I came down, I was like, yeah, no snow.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. It snowed the last 2 years here, and I'm like, yikes. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. That little bit of snow.
It's melted the next day because we have full sun here.
Yeah. The taxes were huge. My home in New York was 1,084 square foot, 2 bedroom, 1.5 bath on a 55 by 112 lot, and the taxes were nearly $13,000. So I have a 2,000 square foot, 4 bedroom, 3 bath home here on a water lot, and my taxes are 1,800.
Is that insanity?
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason. Like I've been having a lot of clients from Massachusetts. They call it Taxachusetts, and they're coming down too. And it's like the taxes are wonderful here. But do you find? I find, and I don't know if you do too, the people that have lived here for a very long time. Not everyone absorbs us or appreciates us moving here. Like there's a little bit of pushback, I feel, from those that have. I think they're afraid that everybody moving here is going to change their state.
Well, yeah. Of course, everybody doesn't want to talk about politics, but yeah, um, they're afraid that if you're from New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, you know, Pennsylvania, up north, northeast, you're going to bring the bad portion of politics here and try and implement them into the South Carolina way of life. And that's not why I moved here. I moved here because I enjoyed the South Carolina way of life. And I'm not bringing the New York nonsense here.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you. That's why we moved here. We find ourselves being very conservative and we like the Southern charm and we liked everything that South Carolina had to offer. Although I'm still waiting to find that perfect slice of pizza. What is that pizzeria that you always tell me to go to that is really good?
Palmetto Point Pizzeria.
Palmetto Point Pizzeria. So that from one New Yorker to another, you're telling me.
That is.
Yeah? Okay. Speaking of a New Yorker, I ran into Dina yesterday. And I said, Dina, I gotta come over because she had Dina's Cucina on the
you never do it no more.
I know. I said, I have to come over for I gotta invite myself for a good home cooked Italian meal. She's like, yo, just call and come over. Yeah, we were over in the community that she bought yesterday. We were showing homes yesterday, and I was like, Tina, I said, I'm gonna invite myself over. You gotta cook for me. That's how brazen I am. I'm inviting myself over. You cook for me.
Well, yeah, she definitely is a cooker. Yeah, and she has the place. They just put an underground pool in that house.
I know. I saw
absolutely beautiful
on the
home.
street. It's beautiful.
Yeah, don't tell anything, Dina, but I still have their gift.
We'll have to go over together. I think Bob and I are coming with Athena for a good home cooked dinner.
Yeah, they're awesome people. Some of the greatest. So the funny portion of this is that I get a call from a friend of mine who is Joe DiMarzo, and he's like, "Hey, do you know Dina and Anthony?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, Lance DiMarzo, his Joe's brother, and Susan DiMarzo, his wife, are best friends with Dina and Anthony. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's just insane. And they just moved here from New York.
It's such a small world, right? It's really 6 degrees of separation. I have people from New York that moved down here and wanted to start a whole new life, and you can't because you go up to to the market or you're sitting at Publix and everybody down here talks to you and it's like 6 degrees of separation. Everybody knows. They call this by me where we live in Carolina Forest, Yankee Stadium, because everybody that moves into that is from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. So they call it mini Yankee Stadium. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
It's a melting pot. But yeah, it's funny because every once in a while, Athena will be like, hey, we have more things to do down here with our friends than we ever did in New York. I'm like, well, what? Yeah, we think about it. We have a lot of friends from Cold Spring, New York that have moved or bought vacation properties in Surfside or, down that way, Garden City, so they're always down here. We're always visiting with people, going out to dinner, going out to lunch, or doing things, bowling, or, it's like, you can't ever stop. I don't ever stop. I literally have to, if we go out to dinner, I come home and then I'm working again. I go back upstairs and I'm back on the computer and doing my thing. But yeah, it's crazy how many people come here to vacation and they end up living here. They end up finding that this is the place to be. And I'm just trying to help them. So I'm enjoying it. I have a good time.
I'm so glad. Rob, let's touch base on all the amazing places that there are in the Grand Strand. Like, what's your favorite place? Because everything you just said, shoot me a couple of your favorites between Little River and down to Pawleys Island or even Georgetown.
I'm going to tell you my first favorite is Huntington Beach State Park. I love Huntington Beach State Park. First, the alligators, I think they call them rose spoonbills, which are absolutely a bird down there that they look like a pink flamingo, but they have this huge bill on them. And they're beautiful. They're just amazing. And they're in the ponds and stuff down there. It's just the wildlife, the nature is amazing. And then you go right across the street to Brook Green Gardens. Like, how could you not love Brook Green Gardens? They have a zoo over there. They have an atrium that they just built with all the flowers, and it's amazing. It's absolutely nature at its best. There's also, Myrtle Beach State Park, which is beautiful in its own. Ferris wheels, the sky wheels, you name it, it's there, and we have it here. And all the golf courses, Pulleys Island. Go down there, there's shops, there's, the hammock shops. Walk around there all day long and get something to eat at the local restaurant down there. It's called The Local. It's a bar restaurant, brewery. It's absolutely delicious. It's amazing, So, yeah, there's so much to do here. Little River, shoot up to Little River. I go to Clark's Steakhouse. Just I love it down here. Right? There's nothing you can't do. You want to do it, you can do.
Have you been to Legends yet? I'm dying to go to Legends.
I have not. I have heard about it. But we've went to Carolina Opry House.
How was that?
Absolutely beautiful, amazing. We saw the Pirates Adventure. We went to their Christmas Spectacular.
Oh, how is that?
My!
I want to
listen.
Go to that.
Yeah, I can't give details about it because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
You actually absolutely have to experience it for yourself because there's just so many twists and plots and different things that happen that you're like, no way. It's just amazing. You have to go. Absolutely have to.
All right.
It's well worth it.
That's something that's on my bucket list that I have to really go to that Christmas show. I took my daughter to the Pirates and I was like a pirate for a week. I was like, oh, ho. I didn't want to eat with silverware. Yeah. I was like so into it.
Open the farmer's fingers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, give me a chicken thigh. I'm going to rip it apart. But yeah, there's some great places. I really want to go see a couple concerts. Have you been to any or the House of Blues? Like, there's so much live music and concerts here.
Been to the House of Blues, been to a couple others. I wanted to go see, they have an Elvis impersonation, like, it's almost for like 4 days. I didn't get a chance to do it yet. I want to do it. I want to see it. Big Elvis fan. They have so many different venues that they're opening up now that I don't know if I'll have enough time.
Yeah.
Just crazy. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
When we moved down, I came, I think, in June of 22, got my license, and I was looking for a brokerage to work for. And I said, Chris, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to work for like 6 months. There's so much to do here, and I want to experience everything. And because we have no family that lives here, people started coming down. The firemen started coming down. Chris's FCNY brothers, my family, my parents, his sisters. And it's like, we don't have time to work. We're living in a vacation town. Like, we just have to enjoy this. But real estate called, and I had to go. Not that I had to. I wanted to. I wanted to, continue. I had my broker license in New York, and I really wanted to continue working here because I enjoy the industry. I do. Mm-hmm. So one last thing, Rob, I want to talk to you about. We had talked before the camera started rolling on consistency.
Sure. Yeah, consistency is key with anything you do, really, but real estate has to be. You'll find that if you're not consistent, unfortunately, things fall through the wayside. So you have to be consistent so that everything runs smoothly, or as smoothly as it can be, because there's always somebody on the other side that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You have over 4,000 agents in South Carolina, and some of them are they're just different. Mm-hmm. They do things differently, and they want to, some of them do it, I'm going to do it for a weekend, or I'm going to be a part-time real estate agent. I want to do this, I want to do that. And their consistency isn't there, and things fall through. But you still have to deal with them because they have that listing, or they're buying from you. if you have that listing. So if your side is consistent and you have all your ducks in a row, it makes these transactions so much smoother.
Yeah, I always say that realtors have to get along because if I have a listing and you've got a buyer, or you've got the listing and I got the buyer, we're going to run into each other over and over and over again. And it's like, just make the deal work. We're both in it for the same thing to help the people. Let's just keep it moving and keep it working.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to work with everybody, and yeah, there are big wigs down here that have a lot of listings, and you're gonna run into them a little bit more often than you do with the little guys. But there's always somebody else who has what you want, or you have what they want, and we all have to work together and get that. Like you said, at the end result, you want to be there for your clients. You want to get the right thing. I had a client recently say, "Well, I want to live in Market Commons. I want a townhouse in Market Commons, but I don't want to spend no more than $350." Well, in this market, that's a tough fit. But if you stay on it, I found her one and we got her into it. And we're closing on May 11th for her.
Nice.
So, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you have to be, you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, Rob, to a good 2026.
Yeah.
A lot more real estate deals to go, and God bless, Rob.
Yeah, and thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Chris. And I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And I always look forward to the phone calls, the text messages, or even running into you in the office and I'm from my Rapunzel window and yelling down and, So, yeah, no, I appreciate you and Chris and everything you've done.
And you said Rapunzel, and I've seen you in a wig, so that is the probably. I'm going to call you Rapunzel from now on.
Yeah, that was a good time. You have to make fun of it. You have to enjoy yourself. And,
exactly.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you're in the wrong business.
Exactly.
'Cause this is tough.
Yep. Now, Rob, I want you to tell everybody your email, business phone number, your website. How can people get in touch with you if they want to use you as their realtor?
Okay, so I'm Rob Tichy, and I'm with Innovate Real Estate. The number is 845-494-3158 or 845-599-0663. And my email is, of course, a little bit of a pun because I wanted to secure your property. So my email is secure, SECURE. My name, prop is PROP, and then my name is RT. So it's secureproprT at gmail.com.
How great is that? Secure property. All right, guys, if you're looking for a realtor, if you're looking for a hero, someone that's served down at Ground Zero during 9/11, someone who gives his heart and soul to all of his clients, you're going to want to give Rob a call because he's available. He's taking on new clients, whether you're looking to buy or list your home in the Grand Strand area of South Carolina. Give Rob a call. He's your guy.